Allons-y! I'm Scotty, and you are not. And this is a little late, to be assured, but I'm here to talk to you about the Doctor Who specials. I think I'm just going to talk about all four of them. The 60th anniversary specials, and the holiday special we just got today on Christmas, so I can just release one video. So here we go. The first special was released back in... They were releasing weekly. So, not last week, not the week before. So, whatever. It was like just after Thanksgiving, they released the first one. And then the week after that, the next one, and the one after that. So, the first one that we got was the Star Beast. And so, this one was the big... Let's have David Tennant reunite with... I forget her name. Donna Noble. Catherine Tate. There it is. With Catherine Tate special and kind of rekindle everything that, that they had and sort of bring that back as a reunion type thing before moving stuff on forward. So yeah. So in case you're not aware, let me reacquaint you. Jodie Whittaker's run as the Doctor was a bit meh, to say the least. And I don't know what it was with her, and that's what it is. Her. She was not bad at playing this character. The only problem, and I know I'm not sexist in any way, shape, or form, but for me, and especially for fans out there, some people did like her, some people were kind of iffy. And it wasn't all her fault. A certain writer and showrunner was also the problem because he couldn't write his way out of a damn paper bag. I'm talking about you, Chris Chibnall, who couldn't write his way out of a paper bag. And I did not see any of Series 11, so just, I have it now. It's over there. Right there. Eventually I have her collection. Eventually I'll watch through it. I have been rewatching older Who. I rewatched some, mostly David Tennant's run in Series 3 and 4, specifically Blink, and the arc with, Utopia and everything with the Master. And then I watched The End of Time and the stuff that leads up to it, the little crossover thing between Torchwood, Sarah Jane Chronicles, and that. So... But that was after the specials. And maybe invigorated my run with Tennant and Catherine Tate, because Donna has never been my favorite companion. In fact, I will still say it's Clara. I don't know. I just have a thing for Clara. Although, I think Donna went up, but I would still put her above Rose. Or under Rose. Amy and Rory and Clara, for me. Of course, Sarah Jane would be up there high, but I haven't seen her run with the 4th and 5th Doctor, so I couldn't go by that. Only with what she was with Tennant, which was fantastic. Fantastic. That's the other guy. But, yeah. So, at the end of Series 13, Jodie regenerated back into David Tennant with the suit, which they don't really explain. They do try to explain why he chose the face again. We'll get into all that, but, and you get the, what? 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 The first thing he does is go, I know these teeth, because the first thing he says when he regenerates from Eccleston to Tennant is, I got new teeth. So now I know these teeth. And so this is the first adventure. I know there's like a couple of little mini web specials or whatever it was. children in need special, whatever they're called. But I didn't see those. So we start off, he goes to London, and who's the first person he runs into? Donna. Because of course it is. And so something else has happened. An alien ship has crashed. In London? Never seen that before. Inside is a creature called the Meep, which I think was a great tactic, because people are going to see this creature and think, oh, I know what they're doing. They're capitalizing on the Baby Yoda thing. They're doing that cute and cuddly stuff, but it's not Baby Yoda, it's Gremlins. Sort of. It is when the snap happens, when it just hits, and what's revealed is revealed. It honestly, it got me. It got me. I was not expecting it, and it worked. But and the doctor goes caught off guard because he sees Donna, and she starts calling out for Rose. So it goes, Rose, what? Rose, what? And it's her daughter, Rose Temple Noble, and is played by a trans actress. I can't remember the name. Yasmin. I think Yasmin something or other. And they do a good job. They or she, I'm not sure what the pronouns are. I didn't look it up. So I will say they for now, out of respect. Do a good job with this role. They do put some stuff in there like, oh, she used to be called Jack or Jason. Jason, that's right. They do call back to the lottery ticket. Because I had to rewatch after this. Because I was like, what? I'm missing. I didn't rewatch before it. So once I realized, oh yeah, the lottery ticket. Because he gives a lottery ticket to Wilford and the mom. And they're like, oh, because it's got the numbers. He went back in time and got the lucky numbers. The winning numbers. And Donna gave it all to charity. Which, going back to the end of the episode, they're all excited. Or at least, I guess the two, were. But she gave it all to charity. So they don't have the money. Sean, her husband, is a taxi driver. So... And he does get into the taxi, and he does say, allons-y. So, of course, allons-y. And so the whole thing, Unit shows up, of course. We don't get Kate Lethbridge Stewart yet. We get Shirley, an introduction to the character of Shirley, who's in a wheelchair, but does not need to rely on it for everything. She can stand up, move around a little bit. She's one of those. I know people who can use crutches to move around. I've worked with them. They don't always need to sit in wheelchairs, but sometimes they do. It's one of those situations. I don't know if she needs crutches per se, but she does sort of stand next to her wheelchair later when we see her at Unit. But she's very capable. Because at one point, my son pointed out, because he was watching this with me, I'm trying to get him into Doctor Who. Once we finish with Legend of Tomorrow, I'm bringing my stuff, and we're gonna watch the stuff. So he's watching his new ones with me, and he called out. He goes, "She moved her leg." I'm like, "What?" And it was up. She moved it. I can't do it because my leg is too freaking short. But she put one leg up on the other leg, like when she crossed her leg, basically. And I'm like, I didn't catch that. I'm like, wait, there's something there. And so they kind of bring it up in the third special, but yeah. And there is callbacks because we see Rose's area. She finds the Meep a la E.T. style and hides it because there's someone coming after it. There's these soldiers coming after it, and then there's this when the Unit people open up the spaceship. There's this big light, and you gotta something's going on here. It's revealed that the Meep is actually the villain, which I thought was a pretty good twist. Some might see it coming, I didn't, but it's a decent twist. And of course the Doctor is forced to help the nobles, much to her mother's chagrin. Just when she turns around and he's at the front door, she goes, "You!" She is not happy to see him at all. They talk about Wilfred, and if you don't know, Bernard Cribbins passed away back in 2022. He filmed something for the special. We weren't sure what. He filmed something. And I didn't even know if they were even going to do it, if they were just going to put up a thing that says in memory of at some point. I didn't know if they were going to do it. They mentioned that he is not dead. The character is not dead. He is living at a unit headquarters because he's wheelchair bound and all that. And okay. Because there's a point where, oh, he's not with us anymore. And he's like, I love that man. Like, he's not dead. He's just not living here anymore. Oh. You know. Wilford was one of my favorite. Hey, Wilford could be my favorite companion now that I think about it. Because he was technically a companion. Because you got to accumulate everything. He was technically a companion in the end of time. So, I'm just saying. Do you hear the drums? Never mind. This might be a long video and stuff. So, eventually, the Doctor figures out that these soldiers that are chasing after the Meep are not the bad guys. He puts on this old duster wig, which is a nod to the Fourth Doctor serial back in the day, from what I heard. And yeah, that's when they find out that the Meep is the villain, and Meep's trying to take over the world, because of course, it's the last one, and it's controlling everything. And the Doctor is able to stop it thanks to Donna getting her memory back, but she doesn't die because she shared the Metacrisis with her daughter, Rose, and all these little stuffed animals that she made are representative of the monsters that Donna saw, like the Daleks, or the other ones. The only thing of is the eyeball thing. It was a Dalek. Maybe did you see Cybermen? I don't remember. Like I said, I didn't watch everything with Donna. Turn Left. I should have watched Turn Left. That comes before that big crossover thing, and it does connect because Rose shows up at the end. But the other Rose Tyler, not, you know what I mean. So everything is saved because they shared the Metacrisis. She shared the Metacrisis with Rose. They kind of hits her, and then they just let it go, which is kind of a lazy way to do it, but I don't think any other way would have been better. It probably would have been worse if they really thought about it, but you know. So at the end, they tease that Rose is going to go in the TARDIS, but she goes, absolutely not. And so they decide they're going to go see Wilfred, but then a whole new TARDIS, we get a new TARDIS interior. Find out later it can change color. So now they can no longer, that takes away the joke though. You redecorate it. I don't like the color. I still say the best one is from when 11 regenerates into 12 and he goes, I got new kidneys! I don't like the color. Have your kidneys? I still say that's the best one. But, so they go in there, they find out there's a new coffee maker, and Donna spills the coffee. And it's kind of a lazy way to do it, too, because she's like, oh my god, I spilled it. I'm just like, she clearly did that on purpose. And I know that they told her to do it on purpose because that's acting, but they couldn't have made it look more accidental. That she just was like, oh no. Then it's the middle one that is kind of the meh one. It's a weird one. Wild Blue Yonder. They're stuck on a the TARDIS has stuck them on a spaceship far light years from Earth. I think they say it's like the end of the universe, which was supposed to be where Utopia was, right? So there's something, whatever. End of the universe, still maybe not end of time universe like that one, but end of the universe, just the far reaches of the universe, maybe. there's a spaceship with something on it, and they mimic the Doctor and Donna. There's some funny moments. There's a pretty cool moment where the Doctor and Donna are having a conversation. It seems like it's in the same room, even though there's different color changes going back and forth, and then you realize it's not the same room, and they're actually having two different conversations because these alien creatures have taken their forms. They're trying to get information out of the other so they can end up taking over them and leaving the ship, which is why the original captain of the ship killed themselves so they couldn't get duplicated. But of course, they're able to get out of there because the thing's going to blow up because there was a self-destruct thing. The Doctor's able to push them forward. He also kind of stops them by invoking a superstition at the edge of the universe. That's what it is, the edge of the universe. By saying that the creatures, you sprinkle salt, and they have to count every single thing with salt, with only the Donna clone does. And there is a moment where he takes the Donna clone with him, but he figures it out and then shoots it back. Kind of the shortest one to go through, but there's really not much to it. The other ones were more involved, I think. Then we finally get to the Giggle, which starts in way back in olden times to the very first TV broadcast, Stucky Bill. The guy working for the studio takes the puppet from the Celestial Toymaker, which was originally played by Michael Gough, who I should say is Alfred in the Tim Burton and Joel Schumacher Batman movies. And yes, it was kind of a racist depiction. And I didn't realize until they showed the flashbacks that this character goes all the way back to the first Doctor. So that's all the way back. So that's a big callback. That's older than the Master, I think. I don't think the Master showed up till the third Doctor. I think. I'm not exactly sure. Or at least in television era. I know they go back before the series, but you know what I mean. But the Toymaker, played of course by Neil Patrick Harris, is fantastic. He does a great job. Actually, it's not fantastic. It is legend. Wait for it. And I hope you're not lactose intolerant because the last word is dairy. That's right, legendary performance of Neil Patrick Harris. I had to say it. I had to say it, right? I had to say it. Sorry. As the Toymaker. And we get I forgot one very important thing. The most important thing. The end of Wild Blue Yonder. How could I forget this? When the ship returns, and I honestly didn't think we were going to get this. I thought they decided not to air his thing they were going to do. But Donna pops her head out of the TARDIS and she smiles. And who is there? Wilfred. Oh, Donna! And he hugs her. And then you see Tennant pop his head out and his smile like a Cheshire cat. And he just, Wilfred Mott. And just, oh. And Bernard Crimmins was like, he was crying. He's like, oh, Doctor, that face. That wonderful face. It's just, I was in tears. Just, oh. Hello, me old soldier. Wilfred Mott, there's nothing wrong in the world. Nothing at all. Except for there is, because everyone's going nuts. And that's what it is. Everyone's going crazy. Why? Yeah, it's an arpeggio, but it's also the giggle. When the first broadcast happened, that stuck everywhere. Now everyone is looking at screens. Everywhere has screens. It's everywhere now. And so the Toymaker has connected everywhere. And this episode was really good. Doctor gets taken to Unit HQ, which, yes, looks like Avengers Tower, but no, you need to stop. Everyone keeps pointing out every little thing. The woke commentary. Oh, I thought Disney had nothing to do with this. Avengers Tower. I thought Disney had nothing to do with this. Disney doesn't. They're distributing it. That is it. If there are any little callbacks, it's because Russell T Davies or the BBC wanted to kind of maybe cater to that a little bit. It's all them, not, you know, you think of maybe the writer did it, you know what I mean? It's not Disney. It's not Disney. Just saying. Anyway, yes, Lucy Avenger style. But he gets there and the Doctor is reunited with Kate Lethbridge Stewart, which of course he says, Kate Lethbridge Stewart, which sometimes I misquote as Jane, but it's Kate. And I like how she doesn't say a word, she just hugs him, right? And we get a callback to when he was the president of the world, by the way, when she says that they need permission to do something. He goes, permission granted. Thank you. And I didn't catch it at first, and I'm like, that's right. He was the president of the world for a point. That was the 12th Doctor. The 12th Doctor was the president of the world. So that's not just a callback that goes further than things from last or even from Tennant. That is in between. So they do call things. And there's more, because there's a detour the Doctor and Donna take when they go back in time. They go through a little trapdoor, and we get what's now become a meme where the toy maker kind of lambasts the Doctor for how he treated his companions. Oh, what about the Amy Pond? And you took her on there and she died. She lived out the rest of her days with her husband. Well, that's all right then. Well, and Clara, and she died because of a bird. She went back to the moment of her death and is now living in a TARDIS disguised as a diner. Well, that's all right then. I don't know if he mentioned me, but, you know. And Bill... something about Bill is was a Cyberman and something. Well, that's all right then. And now everyone's doing freaking memes of it. Oh, and by the way, another former companion that I did not recognize because it's from the older stuff. They brought back Ace, and they brought back, I forgot her name, but they brought them back. They're companions of the 7th and 5th Doctors, I think. And now they brought back Melanie. Apparently she's gonna be coming back for future stuff, and I'm gonna wait because I'm gonna talk about Ncuti Gatwa, because we'll get to that, because I talk about a whole thing here. So, we're still on the third special, But, yeah, Neil Patrick Harris just does very good in this, However, the best scene with him comes here, where they get back to Unit, and he comes through lip-syncing Spice Up Your Life by the Spice Girls, and the key moment is when he twirls Kate, and she just goes headfirst into the damn wall. She takes it. She's like, boom, headfirst into the wall. Yeah. And so what had happened was that he used Stooky Bill as a way to create chaos over the years, just accumulated. Now, it is everywhere. The Eagle's everywhere. It's on every... entertainment is everywhere. You can watch it on a pad, you can watch it on a computer, you can watch it on your phone, you can watch it on your TVs, everywhere. You can watch internet everywhere, and now that's everywhere, making people go crazy. People at Unit, they have these things, except for it affects everyone, but people who have had, been on the TARDIS. So Donna, Melanie are not affected. So I think other companions out there too, like Martha or Mickey or Jack or Graham, Naz, all those that have been in the TARDIS. That what's his name? He was with Jodie. John Bishop's character. What was his name? Dan. I had to see his face. Dan. And I forgot about Ryan as well. But Dan, yes. All those that are still alive. The companions that are still alive out there. And all the ones from before that survived. But they're not affected either. So there are some people out there that are still confused. You know what I mean? And we see that survivor group at the end of the the Jodie's last special, and that sets up Melanie because she's there now she's here. But I also like the Doctor's greeting. Hello, Melanie. Hello. Gives her a hug. But it shows you it's the same person. But we get to what is going to be controversial for most people, but I don't mind it. So the Doctor and the they play a game, right? The Toymaker, they play a game, and the Doctor and the Toymaker wins because he cheated at the, well, not really cheated, but it's the pull the card game. The Toymaker won. So the Doctor challenges him one more game, and he says, I played one game with one Doctor and I lost. I played another game. Second game was played with another Doctor. Now I will play with the new one. And he shoots him with this laser thing that Unit has, which is going to cause him to regenerate. And so you have Donna come up and embrace him, and you have Mel come up and embrace him, and he's like, it's time to go. It's done, the whole thing. He doesn't say, what I would have liked for Tennant is, before, like, he said, I don't want to go. So he wants something like, now it's time to go. But what does he say? Allons-y. Allons-y. But then it stops. He's like, oh, something's a bit different. You pull. They pull on him, and it splits them in two. Yeah, by generation. It splits them in two. And yes, they did have to do the Marvel thing for the trailers, because you have a shot of Ncuti Gatwa, the 15th Doctor, apparently is what he is, with a skyline behind him going, what the hell is going on here? Whereas what actually happens is he's right next to Tennant, so they had to hide that. Because people were like, wait a minute, why are they, But because they split, he's got the shirt and the tie and no pants, but he's in his underwear and he's got socks on. So Tennant is sitting there. People are like, everyone's talking about how Ncuti Gatwa Doctor is in his underwear, but nobody talks about the fact that means Tennant was going commando. And I went, oh yeah, you're right. And he has no socks either. Stinky shoes. But yeah, by generation. And they're able to defeat the Toymaker in one last game. The first game, the ball. Catch. And they defeat him and he turns a little thing. He also says, and very importantly, he has all these teeth. One of them is gold. And he says that the gold tooth contains the master. After he's taken care of, we see a female's hand grab the tooth, which is reminiscent of the special. I don't remember the name of the special. There was the Stolen Earth, and when the Master is defeated at the end of Series 3, when it's revealed to be the lady in charge of the cult, So someone grabbed it. People are saying it's just Kate. Sure, but if it's Kate, why wouldn't they show it unless they're going to do some kind of a twist? So I want to point out that just from this appearance, I already like Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor. Now, if you're wondering, they have him, what becomes of Tennant's Doctor? Well, I see this as a way to soft reboot the Doctor, because Tennant's not just leaving. He's taking 60 years worth of Doctor adventures with him. The way you can see it, because they've already rebranded Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor Adventures as Season 1 for Disney+, right? So the way you can do it, you can see it this way, and you can go, so everything that come before still happened. It's in the same universe. That Doctor, it's split in two. So that Doctor that had all those adventures that's been running all this time. Because think about it. Ever since Series 1, Eccleston's Doctor has been running since what he did in the Time War. Now he can finally rest. That's why he took Tennant's face. Although a more appropriate face would have been Eccleston, but he's never gonna come back to being on screen. He and Russell T Davies don't get it on, so don't get on. But yeah, so that's why when he wanted to retire, he wanted to have a family, and now they show that he's living with the noble Temple Mott family. Yeah. Apparently some time had passed and I didn't catch that. Wilfred is still alive. They just did not show him again because he only shot that little thing, and then the beginning of the next episode it is a body double in a wheelchair. So, but they did do a in memory of Bernard Cribbins at the end of Wild Blue Yonder. But they'll just say, I can't stay without a TARDIS. So that was his prize, a second TARDIS. And so Ncuti Gatwa gets the new one with wheelchair accessibility. And I love people have means like, it's wheelchair accessible. No, you mean Daleks accessible. Oh, shit. Yeah, Daleks getting there now. But Russell T Davies has already said that he's kind of taking a break on the Daleks. Because, yeah, Chibnall used the Daleks for every goddamn special. He used them too much, to be honest. But, yeah. And looking at the names of the specials, it's all of the Dalek. Of the Dalek. Most of them. The New Year's ones, of the Dalek. Of the Dalek. It's like, why is it? Revolution of the Daleks, or something like that. I don't know. But, yeah. So Tennant's Doctor gets to relax and enjoy retirement while we follow Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor. And follow him we do into the church on Ruby Road. I think that's what it's called or something like that. The church and Ruby Road, whatever. This was a Christmas special, which starts off with a woman leaving a girl on the doorstep of an orphanage. This is Ruby Sunday. Yes, her name is Ruby because of the road she was left on, and Sunday because that's who she was ended up being adopted by. This foster woman that took her in and ended up adopting her. Her last name was Sunday. Her mother's name is Cherry Sunday. This woman's mother's name is Cherry Sunday. And so I want to point out the one thing that makes the Doctor is when they say, I'm the Doctor, you believe that. And to me, I think that was what the issue with Jodie was, is that whenever she said, I'm the Doctor, it just didn't work. I don't know why. And again, it could be because she was a woman and not being sexist, but because of the fact that this is the first time they did it. And when they said they were going to bring in a new one, people were throwing out other female casting ideas. And I'm like, I think we need to go back to a man. And I was getting, oh, really? You think a man can do it better? Well, yes, but not because he's a man, but because we've had a male Doctor for over 50 years. And it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they tried it. And even though most of it was the writing's fault, it didn't work. So, So we have this Doctor. And yes, they did tease with Tennant that he could be gender fluid. Because he thought a male person was cute. He said, oh, but he used to be a woman, so maybe he's side effects. But they're obviously, with Ncuti Gatwa's character, going a little more that way because one of the things I see in the trailer is he's trolling around with this tight tank top thing on, and he's rolling at a disco type thing. And I'm just like, what are you doing? But that's really the only thing from this that made me... Well, there was another thing that had me quoting him going, what the hell is going on here? Later, but yeah, so she's dropped off of this orphanage, and we find out that she's been raised in foster care her entire life and was adopted by this foster mother of hers. And the Doctor hasn't followed her around because she was having a lot of accidents, which we find out are goblins. Goblins live in coincidences, apparently, and are hooked to them, and they link them together to get to something. What are they going after? Well, you see, the foster mother, I'm sorry, my belt is killing me, has just brought in a new foster child. They eat babies. Forgot about the freaky babbies that Donna gets into and they giggle, those freaky babbies. But, I mean, I didn't want to talk about them. But, yeah, so the goblins kidnap the baby and they have to go rescue it, which they do, and then Ruby disappears. There's a crack all over the place, which instantly is going to remind you of the 11th Doctor and the crack in Amy Pond's wall, but it's a big crack in the ceiling. And then the crack disappears, and for some reason the foster mother and the grandmother can't remember Ruby. And that's when he realizes, oh, they went back, because they're time travelers too. They went back, or they manipulated it to go back and get the baby Ruby. Right. And there's this old woman who suspiciously doesn't know. At first, she's complaining about the TARDIS being parked there. She says it's a police box that she hasn't seen in 50 years. Okay. Who knows what that means, but then later at the end of the episode, she says, hey, people act like they haven't seen a TARDIS before, which does happen. People should be aware of who the Doctor is. I know Unit kind of does hush, but there are way too many people in London especially that just don't know what the police box is or who the Doctor is, and they should know by now, especially since he's been doing this since 2005. I mean, someone's got to know something. I guess they keep it hush, you know. But anyway, so he goes back in time. So we get the shot at the beginning of the episode where the TARDIS lands. She puts the baby down, the TARDIS lands, and he comes out and he looks. And I'm thinking he's going to see who the mom is, but he doesn't. This is leading to him going to save the baby. And has to climb up the ship and pull it down and destroy the ship so it disappears. And he saves Ruby Sunday. And I do like this where you think he's just going to take off, but he doesn't, because he knows. He's been doing this. He's still in the same continuity. This is a fresh, character, but he's still in the same continuity. He's gone through all this. He still has all those memories, just like Tennant, in a way. So he knows what's going to happen. So Ruby's up there, and she's asked, well, how did he know? Because he talks about time travel. He talks about how he learned a trick from, who was it? I don't remember who it was. By the way, I like these gloves that he has that can manipulate Mavity. Yes, they brought it back at the beginning of Wild Boy Yonder. They land with Sir Isaac Newton, who, yes, was not Asian, but just shut up already. And they help with the concept of gravity, but ends up being called Mavity, and now that just continuing. Now it's a running joke, Mavity. So it's Mavity. So yeah, so he doesn't fall. He said it. I'm like, did he say Mavity again? I was like, yeah. But yeah, so he has these gloves that you can hold on, never let go. So right away, Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson, they have great chemistry. They work together, which is what you need, because if two people are going to work together, you need chemistry. And all of Tennant's, companions had chemistry with them. All of 11's had. 12 was only, Nardo was a little weird, but fine. 13, forget it. They were fine. I liked how Graham called her Duck, but nah. Yeah, the goblins, of course, were CGI, and again, you can accuse Disney of putting here, the little green people with big ears. It's Baby Yoda again. Yeah, but the Starbreeze also had long ears like Baby Yoda, but that was from comic book years ago, before Baby Yoda was a thing, so, but they're fine, little goblins taken care of. We never find out who the mom is, but I have a theory that it's a paradox. I don't know, something about the way her feet looked when she was walking away. I think it's Ruby. I don't know what made me think that. I may be wrong. Proven wrong in the future, maybe. It just, I don't know. That she's, like, I don't know. And because my son pointed out when the lady knows what a TARDIS is, he's like, that's her mom. And I'm like, could be. Or it's her. And I went, wait a minute, those feet. What if it was her that dropped herself off? She stayed in the past. Because a lot of people I'm seeing are that she didn't know what it was at the beginning. Yeah, because she didn't know. And then all of a sudden, Millie now knows. So this lady now knows what a TARDIS is. Pretty conspicuous, don't you think? I don't know. But, I don't know if that's how time would work, but time travel is weird in every show, you know. But yeah, like I said, I liked their family characters. They were giving me a lot of Jackie Tyler vibes, but I guess that's to be expected, you know. But it's fine. And I'm assuming we're going to be seeing them. Yes, they're both African American or British African. They're black. Sorry. And that's fine. Foster family after all. And that works. But, yeah, so I like how she's figuring out in her head. She goes out and she sees the police box, and the woman's there. She's like, and then she goes in and he's like, what? You haven't seen a TARDIS before. There's this guy talking to her. Where'd that come from? That was there. It wasn't there. Wasn't doing that. And it's like, you've seen a TARDIS before. And then she goes in, and he's standing there like, I'm going on an adventure? Basically, he doesn't say that, but he's just standing there smiling like, he knew. And then that's where it ends. They're going to take off on adventures. And we get a thing saying it's going to be spring 2024. People are saying maybe May. It could work. I guess it's a nice time to do it, I guess. But, yeah. Will be interesting to see this. I'm already on board with Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor. I like him. I think he works. Maybe a little less of the gender fluid stuff. You don't need him to be too effeminate. Because, you know, I don't know. I think the Doctor works better as a more pro-male character, as he's always been. But, you know, maybe a little thing here or there. I don't know. Seeing him twirl around, I don't know. It doesn't seem like the Doctor. You know. I get it. The actor might, I don't know if he's gay or... I think he's gay, which is fine. He's fine. That's fine. But let's not do that to the Doctor. The Doctor is always, well, as far as we know, been for women, right? Right? Rose Tyler. I don't know. They did kind of work that with Tennant's Doctor, I guess, but he used to be a woman, so it's conflicting. They'll also bring up a point, though, that if the Doctor always liked women when he's a woman, does that now make the Doctor still likes women and the Doctor is a lesbian? It's a whole can of worms I don't want to open. But yes, these were fun. Okay, these specials were fun to watch. I liked all of them. Well, Blue Yonder is probably my least favorite because I just think... A lot of people were praising that, but I just think it halted everything. I mean, there was some setup, but it just, like, there was stuff going on in the first one, and then we're just stuck on a ship for an hour, and then there's stuff going on in the third one. It just felt like, well, Blue Yonder was filler. And I don't know about that, but it did, and after rewatching Utopia, it did kind of remind me of that where he's stuck on a ship, you know, but there's more action in that than there was in Wild Blue Yonder. You had Jack, you had the people outside, you had, you know, trying to survive, you had Jan Tho. You know, and just the master coming back. There's so much. This was, I don't know, but I'm all in for it. So, what are your thoughts on the 60th anniversary specials and the Christmas special? I'll just put them all together. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.